it's a case of, as I said earlier, that preparation, knowing your feet, knowing your shoes, making sure that you've got, in my case, multiple pairs of shoes if you can change out your shoes to keep your feet dry. And then also socks at every wellness stop to change into fresh socks. Your feet will love you forever.
So I think that's the perfect time to introduce the gorgeous Emma from Foot Centre Group. Emma, what's the magical formula for avoiding dreaded blisters on long walks? So we're talking about training, because we do not want to get a blister and bring it into the challenge. And then we want to get to the finish line without one. So what's your advice?
That's a really good question. It all comes down to reducing moisture, friction and pressure within your boots. So that's probably the best place to start, is making sure that your boots are fitting correctly and that they're comfortable with the socks that you're wearing as well. Now, it is good to invest in some really good socks that wick moisture, they're breathable, you've also got the compression built in so they're not slipping and sliding around, and to have a few pairs that you can swap out during the event. Would you say no low-cut socks, Emma? Yes, yeah. Low-cut socks do have that tendency that over those longer distances, particularly going up and down terrain, they do have that tendency to slip down below the edge of your shoe, and then you're ripe for blisters. Yeah, so higher the better.
So a lot of people talk about taping their feet to avoid blisters. Is this something you recommend?
Yes, it is. It comes down to personal preference. I've had some patients that just don't like it, others love it. So that's something to test out in your trial runs, in your practices. I've got a couple of different materials that you can use. So the first one is Hyperfix, so the hypoallergenic tape. It's nice and thin, it's breathable. That's a good base to start with. Then you can use sports tape, so that rigid sort of orangey tape. The other options that are becoming more popular are the kinesio tapes. Just getting one bit here. So this is actually stretchy. So it's great for muscle aches and pains, but you can also use it for blister prevention. The main thing is that we don't have any creases. So if you're applying it, it has to be completely smooth on the skin, because if there are creases, that's a pressure point and you can get blisters there as well.
There's some great product recommendations. How do we know what to do with them?
That's a good question. We are looking at running a demonstration in a couple of weeks that you can come along and have a look, try it out. But yeah, that's probably the best way to do it, because every foot's going to be different. Some people like to have their entire foot sort of taped up. Some like it just in their hot spots or just around their toes. So each sort of area of the foot does have a slightly different technique. Otherwise, you can come and find us on the course and we can help you out. But ideally, it'd be good to have it on from the start.
And then for those people who can't make it, we'll come along, we'll video the whole thing. Yes. And then we can put the links to all the products and the video demonstration of how you suggest to tape their feet. We'll pop it up in your training dashboard as well. So Emma, pre-event, what's the kind of things we should be doing to look after our feet in the lead up?
Oh,
they're out doing some big Ks at the moment.
Absolutely, and that's the biggest part, is preparation. So like the other panel members have said, preparation, trying out different things. That might be different socks, different shoes, trying different terrain in those as well. Now, in terms of socks, the fibres that we sort of look for are either wool or some synthetic fibres. We do want to avoid cotton if we can. Cotton tends to absorb moisture and then hold it against your skin, whereas the other fibres actually wick the moisture away to keep your skin nice and dry. Okay, those fibres also help to regulate the temperature, so your feet aren't going to overheat. Even though some of them are thicker, it actually does keep your feet nice and cool. Okay, now in terms of socks, again, I've got some to show you. One common one that people like is the cushioning underneath the forefoot and the heel. So that's where you're going to get most of the pressure when you're walking these longer kilometres. The next thing is a bit of compression or elastic through the arch and then through the ankle area. So this stops the sock from sliding down into the shoe and helps hold it nice and compressed against your skin. Another option is, you might have heard, wearing 2 socks. That is a good option. So again, it's reducing that friction and pressure within this shoe. The other option is to wear a sock that actually has 2 layers in it. So if you don't like the feeling of a double layer or it's too thick, the next one is to go for a double layer sock.
Emma, can I just ask you, if they wear the double socks, can that change how your shoe fits?
It does.
Can your shoe get a bit tighter? Yep.
Absolutely. So I always like to tell people, start with your socks, make them nice and comfortable to fit. Yeah. Then once you're happy with the socks, you take them and go and get fitted for your shoes. That way you'll know if you're in the right fit, the right width, if there's any pressure spots remaining. Because if you go sort of shoes first, then it's a little bit trickier in terms of the options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How late can they people leave it to get new shoes before this walk?
That's a good question. So we don't want brand new shoes on the course. But then we also don't want completely worn out shoes either.
Yeah.
So I generally say 4 to 8 weeks. Basically what we want.
So right now.
Yeah, right now is a good time. It's a little bit different for everyone. So basically in that time, we want you to be able to wear them around the house really comfortably, short walks around the block, and then go out on a few training hikes. So for some people, they can do that in a couple of weeks. For other people, it takes a little while to build that up. So now is the perfect time to really check your shoes.
Yeah.
I've got an
But
example.
go buy socks. Yeah. Go get the socks sorted.
Get your socks.
Then let's get to the shoes.
Yep. So one thing to look at is the tread on the bottom. I found this old shoe at home. We do want a nice bit of thick, grippy tread on the bottom. This is going to help you slipping and sliding around when those muscles are a little bit achy, but also the different terrain that you're covering during this hike.
So for those who don't know, and thanks Jess for bringing it along, because I had my old shoes here that yours look a bit nicer than my old ones I had to hold up. Let's talk about the lugs on the bottom of those shoes.
Yes. So these...
For people who don't know, this is a trail runner. And a lot of people ask, should I wear sneakers or trail runners? We love that you've got a Brooks shoe up, Jess. Emma, sorry.
That's all right. Yes, so there are different shoes you can choose from. Now, runners do tend to they're designed for more forward motion instead of side to side. That's where the trail or the cross trainers come in. So they've got more lateral stability to stop ankle sprains and to help guide those muscles so they're not fatiguing too quickly. Now, the biggest difference with your trail shoes is the depth of the lugs on the bottom. So you can see these, they're nice and thick to give you that durability. Okay, these are a little bit more lightweight than a traditional hiking boot as well. So if you've tried them and thought, oh gosh, it's like I've got weights attached to the end of my feet, that's probably your next best shoe.
For me, going out and knowing the course quite well, that's the shoe that I'd 100% be in on day one. Day two, I would carry my cross trainers plus those ones. I'd start off in those ones to hit down the Red Hill Rail Trail. When we're doing the boardwalks, there's some footpath walking up around the Western Port Bay Trail. There's a little bit of road walking. Great to get into your cross trainers for the footpaths. And then especially if there's been a bit of rain, I know the weather forecast we can't tell in advance, but it is forecast to rain the week before. Devil Bend's probably going to get a bit muddier, so I tend to fall over. So I really love having the lugs, especially the end of the day. I would 100%, and that's what you have support crew for, to be carrying your extra pairs of shoes. You don't necessarily have to wait for a wellness stop. You can walk down the road and then give them a call. They can meet you and you can swap your shoes over. But yes, keep moving, changing shoes. Have them definitely worn in. For anybody looking to buy shoes, Emma is in Mornington. We've got the address is on your training dashboard. They've just opened Active Feet store. So you are going to get an amazing professional, well-trained people that are going to help you pick your right shoes out. Your training dashboard also has a lovely discount from them to go in there. For everybody else who can't get into the store, you could probably ring up and have a chat and get some advice anyway. We were having a lovely chat with Brooks today, and there's a nice little discount code that's only going to be valid for a very short time. that we're expecting to come through in the next couple of days. So Brooks shoes, I'm sure, as Emma would agree, are fantastic for the kind of thing we're doing. We're not just saying it because they give us a whole bunch to give away to everyone for free. We only do stuff with brands that we want to support and make sure that you guys are getting good products. So there are lots of discount codes sitting in your training dashboard. Please go and have a look, because we spend a lot of time going and begging people to support you.